Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute tote bag that you can carry your embroidery supplies in when you're out and about. And it's got this cute graphic on it that you can download. There's a link in the comments below and it's a free download. And this is an iron-on fabric transfer paper that I've used here. And I've also added some cute embroidered embellishments. So I went over on these little spots with French knots, and then some of the flowers I've added some backstitch. To make this tote bag, you'll need either a white or just a light canvas bag. The thinner the fabric, the better. So if you can find a cotton bag, that's actually going to be better for you. You'll need the light fabric transfer paper from New Fun Activities. And you print these out on just a regular inkjet printer. So you'll need an inkjet printer to do this project. You'll also need a piece of parchment paper, an iron, and they recommend not using an ironing board, just a hard flat surface. So I have a board that I'm using so that way my tabletop doesn't get damaged from the heat. And a pillowcase and a pair of scissors. If you have a heat press instead of an iron, that will actually work a lot better, but I used my iron and it turned out just fine. First, print your design on the New Fun light fabric transfer paper, and you'll see that I have reversed the image, so make sure that whatever image you're using has been reversed or mirrored. And I printed it on the side that does not have the lines. I printed the design using the photo setting on my printer to make sure that it was a nice clear image and that it turned out nice and bright. Next, you want to take a pair of scissors and cut out around the edge of your design. Don't worry about making it perfect, just cut off the excess. It's okay to leave a little bit white because it will show up clear when you go to iron it on your design. Next, grab your board and put the pillowcase on top. Smooth everything out. Heat your iron to the linen setting. For me, that is the highest setting on my iron. And make sure that you turn the steam off. Place your bag on top of the board, iron to get out any moisture and take out any wrinkles. Take your design and place it face down with the lines up on the center of your bag. Place the piece of parchment paper on top of your design. Then, using firm, steady pressure, glide the iron in a circular motion over the entire transfer. And you're going to want to do this for at least 2 minutes. Make sure you're pressing really hard, putting a lot of pressure. And since I'm using a canvas bag instead of a thinner cotton, I'm probably going to do it even longer than 2 minutes, just to make sure that I'm getting a lot of heat and pressure on this transfer. So once you've ironed each section of the design, go ahead and glide your iron once more over the entire thing just to heat it evenly. And then you want to pull the design up while it's hot. And I just kind of like to peek under first to make sure that it's transferred. If it's hard to pull up, then you might need to do some more ironing. But make sure you get it while it's hot. And I got a pretty good transfer there. So now I'm going to let this cool, and then I can add some embroidered embellishments. So for the embroidery, I tried to choose colors that would kind of match the flowers. And so I've got here a 3733, 3712, and then 501 for the darker leaves. I'm not doing any embellishments on the lighter flowers or the lighter leaves. And these are all DMC colors. So I've got 2 strands of embroidery floss with a knot tied at the end, and you'll want to keep your work as neat as possible since the back of it is going to be on the inside of your bag. And when you're done, you may want to iron an interfacing onto the back of this just to hide your stitches and protect your work on the inside. So what I did on my bag here, you can see I didn't outline the entire flower. I just chose some lines in the design that I wanted to kind of highlight. And working with a bag can be kind of tricky because your hand is going to have to be on the inside of it. You can put the bag in a large embroidery hoop, and that might help with it a little bit. I decided not to, just because the fabric's really stiff and it's not necessarily, I'm not doing a lot of stitching on here, but it definitely might help you with the whole hand going inside the bag situation. And then all I did was a small back stitch along the edge there. So go forward 1 stitch length and then bring your needle up through the back of your work again. And then I can do my back stitch by bringing my needle back down in the spot where the previous stitch went down in. And then again, bring your needle 1 stitch length forward. And then back down in the previous spot. And then just continue that around on any of the edges that you'd like to embellish. So then I wanted to add some little French knots because those are my favorite. So I added them to the ends of the little flowers on these branches here and at the top of the bag here. So I'll just show you how to do that, and I'm turning my bag upside down because that's the easiest way for me to work on it. But I've got, again, 2 strands of embroidery floss with a knot tied in the end. I'm going to bring my needle up through the back, one of the pink little flowers here. Hold the thread here with your left hand, point the needle away from your work, wrap the thread around once, twice, turn the needle, and go back near the same hole that your needle came up in. Push that needle back down and make sure that you're holding this thread tight over here. And then when you get to about that point, you can go ahead and let go, and you've got a little French knot. So just go around, and you don't have to do all of the pink little dots. You can do as much or as little as you want, and just make those little French knots. So those are the only spots that I decided to embroider on my bag, but you could technically embroider the whole thing if you wanted to. I was actually a little bit worried that stitching through the transfer paper would be kind of difficult. I thought it would be thicker, kind of like a heat transfer vinyl, but it's actually really thin and super easy to stitch through. I'll leave some links in the comment section below to where you can purchase the light fabric transfer paper and find out more information about the other products that New Fun Activities provides. They have all kinds of fun products. They've got a dark fabric transfer, they have a shrink film, they have wood transfer paper, glitter transfer paper, glow in the dark, all kinds of fun things that you can use for your craft projects. So head to the comments below and make sure you check them out. And also click the links below to get the fun Stitcher's Gonna Stitch graphic. Thank you to New Fun Activities for sponsoring this post, and I hope you all enjoy making your fun little tote bag.